Hello, and welcome back to My Artist Friend. This is the podcast about the artist behind the art. Today, I am your artist friend, Becky Helms. I am also your host. And today, I'm going to be talking really quick about how we do our advent calendar in our home. So, if you like to do advent calendars, if you like to plan ahead for the holidays, this is going to be a fun time for you, hopefully. I was thinking about, I'm Christmas crazy, okay? And I was trying to think of fun stuff to share. And during the holidays, I know last year I bugged a whole bunch of artists to chat with me, and I just couldn't do it again this year. So hopefully, interviews will start again in earnest, maybe in the new year. But today, you've just got me, your small business loving friend, to talk to you about how I like to do our advent calendars. So, what we have, there is a picture in the show notes, but I have this triangular tree that is painted white, and then it has 24 little boxes in it, kind of in the shape of the tree. There's like 3 down where the trunk is, and then it kind of goes in rows, staggering up until you get to I made it so the 24th was at the very top, so you like work from the bottom up. But it's this little wooden tree that I painted, and inside each little box every year, I will put a little piece of candy, usually some sort of chocolate and peanut butter situation. And I will either write out or print out, depending on how on it I am, um, activities that we can do for the day that have to do with the holidays. So I thought I would break down kind of how I plan that and give you ideas for your own advent calendar if that is something that you want to do for your family or just for yourself, or just to kind of plan your holidays ahead of time so you don't miss anything that you really want to get done. Okay, so the first thing I do, if I'm really on top of it, I have a little calendar printed out with December and all of the days. If I don't, I just have a list, whatever's easiest. And the first thing I do is put down any like date specific activities or events. So things I look for in town is like found out about cocoa crawls recently. You might have local tree lightings. You might have like musical productions. Maybe you want to go see the Nutcracker. When is that playing? If you have any local parades, if you have any trivia nights. We went to a local restaurant recently, and we walked in already on like a Christmas sweater bingo afternoon. Like everyone was hollering, it was crazy. But so yeah, that kind of thing. We would always go see the Trail of Lights in Austin. Anything that you have a specific date that goes on the calendar, make sure that's in there. Pick your dates because those are the things that aren't going to move and you can't really be flexible on. So get those on the calendar. Also, speaking of things that can't move, you've got your craft shows and your holiday markets. Like some holiday markets, like Blue Genie Art Bazaar, runs from, mid-November to Christmas Eve. So you have a lot of time to kind of plan for that. Same thing with there's a Chris Kindle market in Grand Rapids. Same kind of dates apply, and we really want to go to that. But then you've got things like the Detroit Urban Craft Fair. That is December 6th and 7th at the Masonic Temple in Detroit. So we have to figure out which day we want to go because that is a non-negotiable for me. I went last year for the first time, and it was everything. After kind of being in a new place and not knowing a lot of people, going into a craft fair like that, I was like, I feel like I'm home. These are my people. I'm like, do I need to get a booth? And then I had to knock myself in the head and go, no, I don't need a booth, but I can come and enjoy and support. Anyway, any craft shows and holiday markets, be sure to check, do a little search, see if there's anything smaller that you might not know about, because that would be really helpful to even smaller businesses who maybe can't afford to get a booth at a larger place. And yeah, just look for your craft shows and your holiday markets. They are very important. Support your small businesses and your small artists. Oh my God, please. We need your help. All right, another thing to get on the calendar, this might be flexible or not, depending, but if you have any kind of like family parties, friend parties, workplace Christmas parties, get those on the calendar if they're not already on the calendar. And that's like a perfect thing for an Advent activity. And you could also, something a little bit more open-ended, you could go ice skating. I will watch with a hot chocolate and say, good job, as you go by. I will not be participating, but I like being around it. I think it's cute. You could also go out and maybe buy a special ornament. So every single year we like to pick out a new ornament for each year, and I usually end up with a few. And that is a fun activity to put on your list. And I'm sure other people have thought of this before, but I thought I was a genius. Do a small business crawl. All right. I want you to take some friends, take your family, whoever you want to go with, and go visit your favorite small businesses around your town and support them. And maybe go to a local restaurant too and just spend your money in your community. That is what we are focusing on specifically this year. And I'm really excited about it. But I love the idea of just going on a small business crawl. If you've got a downtown and you can just pop in and make these businesses day, because it's been a difficult year. If any way you can support small businesses and artists is incredible. So bring your friends and go check out some shops. All right, another thing I do to put on my Advent is I will list just movies and TV shows. I will say, watch The Muppet Christmas Carol. We might watch it 4 or 5 times during the season, but it will get a day on the Advent. So our favorites in my home are The Muppet Christmas Carol, obviously, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stop motion one, we love a Frosty the Snowman. Now, I also love, and you might not know about this one, is the Care Bears Nutcracker Suite. Classic for me. Oh my God, I was obsessed. My mom was so great during the holidays. She made a VHS tape. Like, we taped all of these different shows on the TV. So I had my little special Christmas tape, and the Grinch, Rudolph, Frosty, Care Bears, and this one, the Chipmunks Christmas with the Golden Echo harmonica. If anyone else remembers that, that was on the list too, which I love. But there's also like White Christmas and Home Alone, and Elf is a new favorite. And if you are also into some TV shows that have special Christmas episodes, that would be a fun thing to put on the Advent too. So I don't know if there are like cartoons that you watch, but in the show notes, I made a list of all of the Office episodes that are Christmas episodes. It's from the NBC website, but I figured it would be good for reference. But those make really great things to add. So if you have any favorite TV shows, specials, like Hannah Waddingham's specials, incredible, cartoons, movies, whatever, you can put those, and that can be a whole activity for a day. It doesn't have to be long. Now, I also put food things on our Advent. So something like make a hot chocolate bar, or just make hot chocolate. Like, it doesn't have to be super involved. You could do make a Chex Mix night. You could do a cookie marathon day. I think those are really fun. Like, what a fun idea. I heard that from the Beautiful Mess Girls a few years ago. So you could do sugar cookies, chocolate chip, whatever you want to make. Just spend the day baking cookies with family. And then after that, maybe you could host a cookie swap. So maybe that is more of an event you would put on the calendar, but that's a fun food-related thing to do. You could make a gingerbread house, or my favorite trick is just get graham crackers and make some icing and just get a bunch of candy, and that is so much easier. if you don't want to like make gingerbread from scratch or buy one of those kits that taste like sawdust in your mouth. Graham crackers are a fun trick. So much easier, so much faster, still just as cute. You could also, and I kind of want to try this year. I don't know if I have it in me, but I want to make a Yule log and decorate it with the family. How fun would that be? Just a giant Swiss roll? Yeah, please and thank you. And then one thing I always do is I make my great Aunt Becky's toffee, and I love to make a bunch of batches and send them out to friends and family. I love to get little tins from the store, line them with parchment paper, and then send them out to friends because gifting is my love language and everyone needs to eat this toffee. And the last bucket that I kind of choose from when I'm coming up with Advent activities is any kind of like specific family tradition. So we love to take an afternoon and make a bunch of paper snowflakes. You can use coffee filters if you want to, just paper, whatever you want to do. We also will play a lot of candy cane hide and seek. So you can just get a package of candy canes from the store, however many you want to get. And we basically have someone will go and hide them in a predetermined area, and then you have to go and find them all. The key here, though, is making sure you know exactly how many candy canes you have hidden, because I was putting something out at Halloween this year, and I opened our big Lego skull that we have in our living room year round, and there was a candy cane in there. We find candy canes all year long that we have forgotten about. But that one's really fun, and we'll play it spontaneously all throughout the season because we just keep a little mug full of candy canes. A lot of them are from like years past. We do not eat these candy canes, but it's also a really good thing to put on your Advent. So we are specifically all doing this today. You know what I mean? You can also make a memory chain. I talked about kind of the details about how my family does that in my last podcast episode, the Snart for November. And so that's a really fun activity that we like to do. You could also make ornaments together, whatever kind of ornament that you want to do. I do have in my last vlog, I show you how to make a sequin pushpin ornament. Those are fun. You could also make your own Christmas cards if you're feeling extra sassy. And I think my favorite new tradition is something out of Iceland, which I think it's only about 15 years old. If that. And it's called Jólabókaflóð, and it's basically where everyone buys someone a book, and then on Christmas Eve you gift that book, and then you spend the day just reading and drinking hot chocolate. And I was like, say less, I'm on board. So every Christmas Eve, like we also open one present. So I also open one present on our Christmas Eve. But that's kind of Jólabókaflóð is a new fun thing. I put a link in the show notes for kind of the origins of that. But yeah, any excuse to drink hot chocolate and get a new book, please. So those are just some ideas. There are plenty of ideas there. You could just pick and choose from that list and have more than you need to choose from for an Advent. When I am putting my calendar together, I try to space things out and think about when we might need a break from the more involved things. And to be honest, like we don't always do everything on the Advent list. Sometimes we're not in the mood to watch The Grinch. That's fine. Sometimes we don't feel like going out and getting craft supplies because I forgot to get them, the week before, that kind of thing. The idea with this is to get my brain around the holiday season, make sure I know when things are happening, and to just intentionally have some holiday fun. Because if you know me, if you followed me for any amount of time, you probably know that I can get really bogged down in the day to day. And I can just spend the day doing laundry, cleaning the house, cooking food, like doing all the basics and not taking time for the fun, special, a holiday magic of it all. And this Advent calendar activity really helps me to kind of put things in perspective and to plan things out so then I don't have to work quite so hard in December. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. I think I got this Advent calendar, our little tree, I got it for Emmett's first Christmas and I painted it, and we have been doing it ever since. And it's been a really fun way. I just, at some point in November, I will get it together and get the calendar out, make sure we buy the tickets to the things we need to buy the tickets to. And, we have some things that don't move that we have to participate in. But if you pull a make hot chocolate and you don't feel like it, that's fine. You get a piece of candy and then you can move on. So I hope this was helpful for anyone who was planning out their Advent calendars. If you don't want to go this wild, don't. Just buy an Advent calendar from the store and eat a little chocolate and have a good time. There's no judgment. I just think it's a fun way to do the holidays, and that's what we do in our home. And yeah, I hope you have a fantastic holiday season. And if you need to reference any of this, everything is in the show notes, so you can just copy and paste, my friend, if you want to. There's no shame in that. All right. I will talk to you again later. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and on Substack. Please and thank you. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.